Alex blinked his eyes open, the world around him fuzzy and strange. The first thing he noticed was the soft hum, almost musical, filling the room. He could hear no city sounds, no car horns, no chatter, only a gentle, steady vibration, like the heartbeat of some enormous living thing. He shifted slightly, groaning, and realized he wasn't in his own bed. The room was unfamiliar yet calm. Soft light bounced off walls made of a smooth, silver-like material. Floating panels hovered in mid-air, displaying faint, flickering symbols. A small orb of light circled lazily near the ceiling, casting shadows that danced across the room. Alex's heart raced. He had never seen anything like this before. Then he noticed her. Mara stood near the edge of the bed, calm, composed, and strangely familiar. Her presence was gentle, like a lighthouse in the middle of a storm. "You're awake," she said softly. Her voice was a whisper, yet it seemed to fill the room. "You were crying, but you're safe now." Alex frowned, confusion twisting his features. "See, crying? I don't understand." His voice was hoarse, and his throat ached as if he hadn't spoken for hours, maybe days. Mara moved closer, offering a small, reassuring smile. "It's okay. You're safe. You were scared. Very scared. But that's over now." Alex tried to remember. He wanted to remember. A chill ran through him as he realized he couldn't recall anything before waking here. Not his last hour, not yesterday. Everything was blank. Panic began to prick at the edges of his mind, but Mara's calm presence seemed to hold it back, like a steady hand pressing down a rising tide. "Where am I?" he finally asked. Mara gestured around the room. "You're on a human rescue ship," she explained. "We found you after the incident." She paused, studying his face. "You were caught in something dangerous. You barely survived." Alex's chest tightened. He wanted to ask more, but he felt too weak, too disoriented. His gaze wandered over the room again, trying to make sense of it. Everything seemed advanced, but not alien. The technology was clearly human, just far beyond anything he had ever seen. Floating holograms displayed information he couldn't immediately read, symbols that shimmered and changed with every blink. "What incident?" he asked, voice trembling. Mara didn't answer right away. Instead, she gently lifted his hand and held it. "You'll remember in time," she said. "For now, just rest. You need to regain your strength." Alex tried to pull his hand away, then realized that he didn't want to. There was something in Mara's presence that made him feel safe, something that made the fear in his chest loosen, just a little. He nodded weakly, letting himself sink back into the soft bedding. The room was quiet for a few moments, save for the soft hum and the faint shifting of the panels. Alex's mind raced. A rescue ship? Dangerous incident? He tried to picture himself somewhere. At home, at work, anywhere familiar. But nothing came. It was as if his life had been erased, leaving only him and the room and the woman standing quietly beside him. "Can I see the rest of the ship?" Alex asked finally, curiosity breaking through the haze of fear. Mara nodded. "When you're ready. But for now, you need to drink something. Your body is weak." She floated over to a small shelf, her movements smooth and precise. A container slid silently along the shelf and stopped in front of Alex. It was clear, with a faint blue liquid that shimmered slightly. "Drink," she said. Alex hesitated, then took the container. The liquid was cool and slightly sweet, refreshing in a way he hadn't felt in a long time. As he drank, Mara watched him quietly, her expression unreadable but kind. When he finished, she gestured toward the wall. A panel opened, revealing a small screen. Maps, numbers, and strange symbols filled it. "You're safe because humans are everywhere," Mara said. "Even in places you wouldn't expect. Our ships, our colonies, our teams. We look out for each other. Alex's brow furrowed. Humans? Colonies? Mara smiled. Yes, humans have spread across the stars. We explore, we build, we protect, and sometimes we rescue those who are in danger. That's what happened to you. Alex swallowed hard. The idea was overwhelming. Humans, colonies, rescue missions in space. It was almost too much to process. And yet somehow it felt right. Something deep inside him recognized it, like a memory buried beneath layers of fear and confusion. Who found me? He asked. Mara hesitated, then replied, A team of human explorers. They risked themselves to save you. You're not the only one in danger out there. The universe, it's not always kind, but humans... She paused, as if choosing her words carefully. Humans adapt, humans survive, humans help each other even when the odds are impossible. Alex felt a strange warmth in his chest. Somehow, even without remembering the incident, he felt connected to her words. Humans survive. Humans adapt. Humans help each other. He wanted to believe it, needed to believe it. How did I get here? He asked, voice barely above a whisper. Mara moved closer again, placing a hand on his shoulder. We found you unconscious, drifting in a shuttle pod. You were crying, alone, and frightened. But you're here now, you're safe, and that's what matters. Alex nodded slowly. He still felt disoriented, but a small seed of trust was growing inside him. He realized that fear didn't have to control him. Mara was right. He was safe. For now, that was enough. The room was quiet again, but Alex noticed something else. A faint vibration under the bed. Not threatening, not loud, just a rhythm. He followed it with his eyes and saw the floor panels subtly pulsing in response. Mara noticed his gaze and explained, That's the ship's energy core. It senses everything. Movement, life, even fear. It helps us keep everyone safe. Alex swallowed. The idea of a living ship was incredible, almost unbelievable. But seeing it in front of him, feeling its gentle hum beneath him, he believed it. You sound amazed, Mara said softly, a hint of amusement in her voice. I don't know what to think, Alex admitted. Everything's different, strange. I feel like I woke up in a story I don't understand. Mara smiled. That's the beginning of every adventure, isn't it? You wake up somewhere unknown, unsure of what's real, unsure of what comes next. But then, step by step, you learn, you adapt, and you become more than you were before. That's what it means to be human. Alex considered her words. Step by step, learn, adapt, become more. He felt a flicker of determination inside him. Small, but real. Maybe he couldn't remember what happened before, but he could start here. He could choose to move forward. Mara glanced at him and nodded, as if she understood his unspoken thoughts. When you're ready, I'll show you the rest of the ship. There's much to see, and even more to do. But for now, rest. Alex nodded again, letting himself sink back into the soft bedding. The hum of the ship, the soft floating lights, Mara's presence. It all combined into a strange, comforting lullaby. He closed his eyes, letting the gentle rhythm of the ship soothe him. And somewhere deep inside, Alex felt the tiniest spark of hope. The universe was vast, and he was small. But here, in this moment, he was safe. And for the first time since he woke, that felt like everything. When Alex woke the next morning, the soft hum of the ship felt familiar, almost comforting. Sunlight, or what seemed like sunlight, filtered through the walls, casting gentle, moving patterns across the floor. The room was empty now. Mara had gone to start her day. Alex sat up slowly, stretching his arms and trying to shake the lingering fog of sleep. His mind still felt heavy, weighed down by questions. Where exactly was he? How had he ended up on this ship? And most importantly, what had happened to him before he woke up? He swung his legs over the edge of the bed, feet touching the cool, smooth floor. The ship beneath him seemed alive. A faint pulse traveled through the floor panels, a rhythm almost like a heartbeat. Alex couldn't stop staring at it. It was strange to feel a ship as if it were a living being. Yet somehow, it felt right. Holographic panels flickered to life along the walls, displaying information in bright, flowing symbols. Alex walked toward them, trying to understand. He could make out some numbers and graphs, everything moving with precise accuracy. This was human technology, but far beyond anything he had ever seen. "You're awake." Alex jumped slightly and turned. Mara stood behind him, holding a small cup of steaming liquid. "Drink this," she said. "It will help wake your body fully." He took it gratefully. The liquid was warm and slightly sweet, calming him immediately. As he drank, Mara stepped closer. "I thought you might want to see the ship today," she said, smiling softly. "There's much to show, and I think it will help you remember yourself and why you're here." Alex nodded, curiosity replacing some of his lingering fear. "Yes, I want to see." Mara led him out of the room, and immediately Alex felt the vastness of the ship. It was enormous, stretching far beyond what he had imagined. Corridors curved gracefully, lit by soft, glowing lines along the edges. Every wall was smooth, every corner precise, yet there was warmth to the design, a balance of engineering and care that felt human. "This ship is a human rescue vessel," Mara began. "We patrol regions where danger is high, collapsing asteroids, unstable planets, rogue energy storms, and sometimes we rescue people who are trapped, alone, or in fear. You were one of them." Alex frowned, trying to picture it. "I was in danger? What happened?" Mara hesitated, as if choosing her words carefully. "There was an accident near the asteroid belt. A mining station was caught in a collapse. You were trapped in a shuttle pod, drifting away. The team found you just in time. You were alone, frightened, and crying. But we brought you here." Alex swallowed hard. He tried to imagine himself trapped in space, isolated, helpless. The thought made his chest tighten, but Mara's words also brought relief. Someone had cared enough to save him. Humans had saved him. They saved me," he said, voice low. "Why? Why go to so much trouble?" Mara smiled gently. "Because that's what humans do. We survive, yes, but we also help each other. We protect one another. You were part of our community, even if you didn't know it yet." Alex blinked, trying to absorb her words. Humans, protecting each other, even across the stars. It was both comforting and amazing. He had never imagined people could reach so far, could care so much, could act so decisively in such impossible situations. Mara guided him down a hallway toward a larger room. Alex's eyes widened as he entered. The space opened into a vast observation deck with windows, or screens, showing the stars. The void outside stretched infinitely, and the ship floated gracefully among it. Small ships glinting in the distance moved like tiny fireflies. "This is where we monitor missions," Mara explained. "We track danger, coordinate rescues, and communicate with human colonies across the galaxy." She gestured toward a group of crew members who worked at holographic consoles. They moved quickly, efficiently, but there was no panic. Every action was precise, every decision deliberate. Alex watched, fascinated. The humans were calm, yet their work saved lives. He realized that they weren't just surviving the universe. They were shaping it. They were controlling chaos with intelligence, empathy, and courage. Do I work here?" he asked. suddenly aware of his own uncertainty. Mara looked at him with a mix of amusement and understanding. "You do now," she said. "We need you, Alex. You were trained for this. You may not remember, but your skills, your mind, can help save others, just like we saved you." Alex's heart raced. He had no memory of being trained, yet Mara's confidence sparked something inside him. A memory? Or maybe instinct? He didn't know, but a sense of purpose stirred within him, something stronger than fear, stronger than confusion. He followed Mara to a console that displayed a three-dimensional map of the asteroid belt. Floating debris and energy signatures shimmered in bright colors. "This is where the accident happened," Mara said. "And it's not the only danger out there. There are regions where ships, stations, even colonies can be at risk. Humans venture into these areas because we adapt, we survive, and we protect one another." Alex leaned closer to the hologram, studying it. Patterns of movement, angles, and trajectories. He recognized the logic, the mathematics, even if the details were fuzzy in his mind. He realized that he understood this work instinctively. Every decision required precise thinking, quick judgment, and a willingness to act when others might freeze. Humans were not only resilient, they were clever, resourceful, capable of solving problems that seemed impossible. "And you," Mara continued, "are part of that. You were lost, but now you can help others. You understand systems, energy flow, navigation. You have a mind that sees patterns in chaos." Alex felt both awe and fear. Could he really do this? Could he step into a role that required life or death decisions? Mara's steady gaze reassured him. Somehow, he believed he could. She gestured toward the observation deck. "Come with me. I want you to meet the rest of the crew. They'll explain more about your role and about the way humans have spread across the stars. It's a story of resilience, ingenuity, and cooperation. A story of what humans can achieve." As they walked, Alex noticed more details. Small maintenance drones floated silently, repairing minor issues before anyone even noticed. Energy conduits pulsed gently along the walls, feeding the ship like veins. Crew members communicated through a mix of gestures, holograms, and voice, every action efficient, coordinated, almost like a dance. "This ship is alive," Alex said softly, almost to himself. Mara smiled. "Alive, yes, but it's also human, built by human hands, guided by human minds. Every system, every decision, every rescue. It's all a reflection of what humans can do when we work together." They reached a large chamber filled with more crew members, each focused on different tasks. Some worked with maps, some with communications, and others were repairing small damage to the ship's exterior. Alex noticed how calm everyone seemed, how focused. Even in the midst of potential danger, there was no panic, only action, skill, and cooperation. "This is your crew," Mara said. "You are one of us now. You may feel lost, but your skills, your mind, and your courage will help protect lives. That's what humans do. We don't give up, even when everything seems impossible." Alex looked around, trying to take it all in. Each face reflected determination and intelligence. Each action was precise, purposeful, and human. He felt a spark of pride, a connection he couldn't fully explain. Somehow, in this room, he belonged. Are we going to face danger again?" he asked, voice small. Mara's expression softened. "Perhaps. Space is never safe, but humans thrive in danger. We adapt, we learn, and when we work together, we overcome." Alex nodded. Something inside him shifted. Fear was still there, but it no longer controlled him. Instead, he felt determination, a desire to learn, to help, to be part of this human story of survival and ingenuity. Mara guided him to a smaller console and placed his hands on the controls. "Try this," she said. "See what you remember." Alex hesitated, then followed her instructions. As he manipulated the holographic controls, systems responded to his touch with fluid precision. Patterns appeared, pathways opened, and energy flows stabilized. He realized, with a thrill, that he could do this. He belonged here. He could make a difference. Mara watched, a proud smile on her face. "Good," she said. "You're exactly where you need to be." Alex felt a rush of excitement. The universe was vast and dangerous, but humans were clever, brave, and resilient. And now, he was part of it. He didn't remember everything, but he had a purpose. He had a mission. And for the first time since waking, he felt ready. As they looked out at the stars together, Alex understood something deeply. Humans weren't just survivors. Humans were creators, problem solvers, and protectors, and he was one of them. The journey had only just begun, but already he knew he was exactly where he was meant to be. Alex's hands hovered over the holographic console, the glowing symbols reflecting in his wide eyes. The observation deck was quiet, almost serene, but Mara's steady presence reminded him that calm was often the eye of a storm. He had learned in the last day that this ship was more than just metal and circuits. It was alive, guided by human ingenuity, and designed to survive even the most impossible situations. Suddenly, a series of alarms rang out. Not loud, not frightening, but urgent enough to draw every crew member to action. Red lights flashed along the walls, painting the room in a warm, urgent glow. Alex's stomach tightened. He had felt safe yesterday, but now something was happening. Mara's voice was calm but firm. "Asteroid fragments approaching. Sensors show multiple high-speed trajectories. We need to stabilize the ship and protect the colonies in the sector." Alex nodded, though fear gnawed at the edges of his mind. He had seen the holographic map before, but now the glowing shapes of the asteroid fragments moved faster, closer, with a deadly precision. Each fragment was large, fast, and unpredictable. One wrong move could damage the ship, or worse, the human colonies nearby. "Alex," Mara said, placing a hand on his shoulder, "this is your moment. Use the systems. You know how to read them. Trust yourself." Alex swallowed and stepped closer to the console. Holographic lines shifted beneath his hands. Energy flows shimmering in response to his touch. He could feel the ship's pulse, its living heartbeat, reacting to the approaching danger. "All right," he whispered to himself, step by step. The first fragment approached from the left. It was enormous, a jagged rock hurtling at impossible speed. Alex traced its path on the hologram, then used the energy control panels to adjust the ship's shields. Light arcs danced across the vessel as the protective field strengthened. The fragment passed, barely grazing the outer hull. A collective sigh of relief echoed across the observation deck. "Good," Mara said softly. "Keep going. There are more." Fragments came in clusters now, unpredictable and chaotic. Every crew member moved quickly, coordinating with one another in a dance of precision and intelligence. Alex's hands flew across the console, adjusting energy shields, stabilizing the ship's power core, and rerouting resources where needed. He felt alive, every neuron focused, every thought clear. Humans were brilliant, he realized, able to solve impossible problems in real time, using intuition, creativity, and courage. "Alex, reroute the left thrusters to compensate for gravity fluctuations," one crew member shouted. Alex did so instantly. Energy streams shifted, arcs of light moving along the ship's surface. A fragment narrowly missed a side panel. The crew murmured in approval, but there was no time for celebration. More fragments approached, faster and larger than before. Sweat beaded on Alex's forehead, but he kept moving, trusting his instincts, trusting the systems, trusting the humans around him. The ship vibrated beneath him, the pulse quickening as it responded to the danger. Suddenly, a massive fragment approached from directly ahead. The shields alone wouldn't hold. Alex paused for a moment, analyzing the situation. Then inspiration struck. Humans didn't just follow instructions, they adapted, they innovated. "Divert energy to the aft stabilizers," he shouted. "Combine the shield with a kinetic redirection. We can push it off course." Mara's eyes widened in surprise, then she nodded. "Do it! Now!" Alex adjusted the controls, energy streams flaring and bending as he redirected power. The ship trembled under the strain, but the massive fragment slowly shifted its trajectory, guided by the combined shields and energy pulses. It missed the hull by mere meters. A cheer rose from the crew. Alex exhaled, heart pounding. Humans were capable of this, he realized, thinking on their feet, turning desperate moments into victories. Fear and chaos were temporary. Human ingenuity was permanent. "More fragments, right side!" Mara called. Alex reacted immediately, rerouting shields, adjusting thrusters, and coordinating with the crew. Each fragment was a puzzle, each movement a test of skill. He remembered the way his hands instinctively adjusted energy flows, the way his mind saw patterns in chaos. He felt connected, not just to the ship, but to the humans around him, to every life they were protecting. Minutes passed like hours, but gradually the fragments began to thin out. The ship had endured the assault. The energy core stabilized, the shields shimmered gently, and the observation deck's red lights returned to soft blue. Alex slumped slightly against the console, exhausted but exhilarated. Mara placed a hand on his shoulder, a proud smile on her face. "You did well," she said. "Not just well, brilliantly. That was human ingenuity in action." Alex shook his head in disbelief. I just reacted," he said. "I didn't know what to do. I just tried to follow what I felt was right." Mara chuckled softly. "That's exactly what humans do. We don't just follow rules. We adapt. We create solutions when none exist. And we do it together." Alex looked around the observation deck. The crew members were busy repairing minor damages, coordinating communications with the colonies, and checking the ship's systems. Every action was deliberate, precise, yet carried a sense of care. Humans were more than survivors. They were protectors, thinkers, innovators, and problem solvers. One crew member approached Alex, smiling. "You're a natural. The way you handled the energy flows, it saved us critical seconds. Without that, the shields might have failed." Alex felt a strange mix of pride and humility. He had been terrified moments ago, yet now he had contributed something vital. He was part of a larger human effort, and that realization filled him with determination. Mara guided him toward a smaller console where maps of the colonies blinked in holographic detail. "Look at this," she said. "The colonies you just protected, they're human achievements. Each one represents ingenuity, collaboration, and courage. We explore the stars, and in doing so, we protect and preserve what we create." Alex studied the colonies, small dots of light scattered across the dark expanse. He felt a connection he couldn't explain. Humans, he realized, weren't just surviving. They were thriving. They reached out into the void, faced danger, and built communities that endured, and now he was a part of it. Mara continued, her voice gentle. "Every time we face danger, we learn. Every challenge teaches us something new, and every person on this ship contributes to that knowledge. Humans are stronger together than any danger we face." Alex nodded slowly. The weight of her words sank in. He had been afraid, lost, and unsure. But now he understood something essential. Human resilience wasn't just about survival. It was about ingenuity, courage, and collaboration. It was about using the mind and the heart together to overcome what seemed impossible. "Alex," Mara said softly, "today you faced danger and succeeded, but tomorrow there will be new challenges. And humans, people like you, will rise to meet them. That's what it means to be human." Alex swallowed, a deep sense of purpose growing inside him. He realized that fear didn't have to control him. He could choose action, creativity, and courage. He could contribute. He could protect lives, just as humans had once protected him. The observation deck was quiet again, save for the soft hum of the ship and the gentle vibrations beneath their feet. Alex felt the pulse of the ship, the heartbeat of human ingenuity, and he smiled. The universe was vast, and danger was always near, but humans were extraordinary, and he was part of that. As the stars stretched endlessly outside the windows, Alex knew one thing clearly. He had faced fear, he had acted, and he had contributed. Humans thrived not because they were fearless, but because they adapted, solved problems, and worked together. That was the lesson of the day, and it was one Alex would carry with him forever. The challenge had tested him, but it had also shown him who he could be: a protector, a thinker, a human capable of incredible things. And as the ship sailed onward, deeper into the stars, Alex felt ready for whatever came next. The ship floated through the dark expanse of space, calm for now. But Alex knew the quiet never lasted long in the galaxy. Mara guided him toward the command center, where the crew had gathered for updates. Today, he would face something far more complex than fast-moving asteroid fragments. Today, he would see just how extraordinary human ingenuity could be. "Alex," Mara said, her voice calm but serious, "we have detected an unstable energy storm approaching a nearby human colony. The storm is unlike anything we've seen before. It could damage the colony's power core and communication systems. We need to act fast." Alex felt a chill run down his spine. Energy storms were unpredictable, chaotic. They could fry circuits, tear apart buildings, even crush shields designed for defense. The colony relied on the ship to help stabilize the situation, and now it relied on him. "Show me the data," Alex said, moving toward the holographic map. Panels flickered to life, displaying the storm's energy waves in bright, shifting colors. The patterns were chaotic, almost impossible to predict. Mara guided his hands to a console where he could manipulate the energy streams. "You'll need to reroute the storm's energy to prevent damage," Mara explained. "The ship's systems can absorb some, but not all. You'll have to be clever and precise." Alex studied the storm. It was massive, swirling with violent energy arcs that seemed to pulse like lightning frozen in space. The colonies were small dots of light beneath the storm, fragile and vulnerable. He took a deep breath, feeling the pulse of the ship beneath him, the living heartbeat that had saved him once before. "All right," he whispered to himself, step by step, focus. He began manipulating the energy flows, adjusting the ship's shields to create a controlled field that could absorb part of the storm. The storm shifted unpredictably, and Alex had to anticipate its movements, thinking faster than the human eye could follow. He rerouted power through auxiliary conduits, letting energy bypass weaker sections and flow to areas that could withstand the storm. Mara's voice guided him. "Watch the core output. Don't let it overload. And keep the shields balanced. The colony depends on it." Minutes passed, but each felt like hours. The storm was relentless, forcing Alex to think creatively. He noticed patterns within the chaos, small, repeating arcs of energy that moved predictably if watched closely. Using these patterns, he created energy pulses that redirected parts of the storm away from the colony. "Alex, the northern quadrant!" a crew member shouted. It's surging faster than expected. He acted immediately, adjusting shields and sending controlled energy pulses to counter the surge. The ship vibrated violently, testing the limits of its systems. Alex's hands moved with precision, his mind calculating, predicting, and adapting in real time. Mara placed a hand on his shoulder, steadying him. "You're doing well. Trust yourself. You understand this." Alex nodded, focusing all his energy. He could feel the storm pressing against the ship, threatening to overwhelm their systems. But humans were not meant to give up. Humans adapted. Humans solved impossible problems. That thought pushed him forward. He traced a series of energy loops across the storm's path, using the ship's shields to channel excess energy away from both the colony and the ship itself. Sparks of light danced along the console as the systems hummed under strain. The storm was massive, but Alex realized that careful observation, creativity, and human determination could control even the most chaotic force. Suddenly, an alarm rang. "Core overload imminent!" Alex's heart pounded. If the ship's core failed, the shields would collapse, and the colony could be destroyed. But fear did not stop him. He adjusted the conduits, creating a feedback loop that redistributed energy without overloading any section. The ship pulsed, its systems groaning under pressure, but slowly, the core stabilized. Mara's eyes widened in relief. "You did it. The core is stable." Alex exhaled, sweat dripping down his forehead. He had faced chaos and found a solution, but the storm still raged. It wasn't over. "Now, the colony," Mara said. "You need to ensure it remains protected until the storm passes." Alex manipulated the shields around the colony, creating a protective energy dome that absorbed the remaining storm waves. He monitored the flow of energy, adjusting constantly, anticipating every surge. The storm tried to break through, but the shields held firm. Slowly, the chaos outside the windows began to calm, the storm dispersing like a tide retreating from the shore. The crew erupted in quiet celebration, their relief palpable but controlled. They were humans, after all, efficient, capable, and disciplined. And they had just witnessed ingenuity in action. Alex sank into the console chair, exhausted but elated. He realized that this was what it meant to be human, facing impossible odds, thinking quickly, adapting, and protecting one another. Fear existed, yes, but it was a tool, a reminder of what needed to be done. Courage and intelligence were stronger. Mara placed a hand on his shoulder, smiling warmly. "You've done more than survive, Alex. You've helped others. You've protected lives. That is what humans are at their best." Alex looked at her, feeling a swell of pride. Humans weren't just explorers, engineers, or colonists. They were problem solvers, creators, and protectors. And now, he was one of them. He stood and walked toward the observation window. The storm had passed, leaving the colony safe beneath the vast, dark sky. Light shone from the buildings, small but resilient, like candles in a storm. Alex realized that this was what humans created: life, hope, and community, even in the harshest environments. The ship vibrated gently beneath his feet, a reminder that it was alive, that it had responded to human intelligence and determination. Humans and their creations, living ships, colonies, communities, worked together, achieving what seemed impossible. "Alex," Mara said softly, "remember this feeling. This is what humans are capable of when we act together, think together, and care for each other. Today, you were part of that story." Alex nodded, taking a deep breath. I understand now. Humans survive not just by strength, but by thinking, by caring, by acting together." Mara smiled. "Exactly. And tomorrow there will be new challenges. But humans will face them, and we will continue to thrive no matter what the universe throws at us." Alex looked back at the console, then at the stars beyond the window. He felt ready. The challenges would come, yes, but humans, resourceful, clever, and courageous humans, would always rise to meet them. The crew began routine checks, repairing minor damages and stabilizing remaining energy flows. Alex assisted where he could, learning more about the ship, the systems, and the incredible ingenuity of humans. Every adjustment, every calculation, every decision reminded him that humans were not passive survivors. They were active creators, thinkers, and protectors. For the first time since waking in Mara's room, Alex felt truly at home. He was no longer a lost, frightened individual. He was part of a greater story, a story of human resilience, ingenuity, and courage. And he was ready to contribute, to face whatever challenges awaited in the vast universe. The stars stretched endlessly beyond the ship's windows, calm and infinite. Yet Alex knew that within that calm lay danger, chaos, and uncertainty. But humans, he realized, were capable of extraordinary things, and he was one of them. As Mara stood beside him, watching the colony and the dispersed storm, Alex felt a quiet determination settle in his heart. The storm had tested them, but they had triumphed. Humans could think, adapt, and protect. And together, nothing was impossible. For Alex, the journey was only beginning. The universe was vast, unpredictable, and sometimes terrifying. But humans were extraordinary. They survived, they innovated, and they thrived. And now, Alex would face the future with that same courage, intelligence, and resilience. The ship glided through the quiet darkness of space, calm after the chaos of the storm. Alex stood near the observation deck, his eyes tracing the infinite stars stretching across the void. He felt a strange sense of peace, a deep awareness of the universe around him, and of the humans who navigated it with courage and intelligence. Mara joined him silently, her presence reassuring. "The storm has passed," she said softly. "The colony is safe, and the ship, it has stabilized. All because of human effort, and because of you, Alex." Alex turned to her, still catching his breath. I can't believe it. I mean, I never imagined I could do all this, but we did it. All of us." Mara smiled warmly. "That's the point. Humans aren't alone, even in the vastness of space. We work together, we adapt, and we protect each other. Fear and danger will always exist, but human ingenuity and determination are stronger." Alex nodded slowly. He remembered waking up in Mara's room, lost, scared, and confused. And now, after facing the storm and helping protect the colony, he felt transformed. He had discovered something essential about humans, and about himself. Humans were not passive beings waiting for fate to act. They were creators, problem solvers, and guardians of life and hope. He glanced back at the observation deck, where the crew continued their work. Each person moved with calm precision, repairing minor damages, monitoring systems, and ensuring the colonies remained safe. Alex realized that every individual mattered, every action contributed to the larger mission, and every decision could save lives. This was the essence of humanity: intelligence, cooperation, and courage working in harmony. "Alex," Mara said, breaking his thoughts, "there's something I want you to see." She guided him to a small chamber filled with holographic displays. Maps of human colonies, energy networks, exploration paths, and rescue missions filled the room. Alex's eyes widened as he absorbed the scale of human achievement. "These are humans," Mara explained. "Not just explorers or engineers, but survivors, thinkers, innovators. Across the stars, we create, protect, and adapt. And now you are part of this story." Alex traced his fingers along the holograms, noting the colonies he had helped protect today. He saw the paths of ships like theirs, patrolling dangerous sectors, saving lives and supporting communities. The scale of it was staggering. Humans had spread across the galaxy not by chance, but through ingenuity, courage, and cooperation. And now he understood. Humanity's strength was not in physical power alone, but in mind, heart, and unity. Mara watched him quietly. You see, Alex, humans survive because we innovate. We rise to challenges even when the odds are against us, and every person adds something unique. Today, you helped save lives. Tomorrow, you will do more. And in doing so, you honor the spirit of humanity. Alex felt a deep sense of purpose. The fear and confusion that had haunted him since waking in Mara's bed seemed distant now, replaced by clarity and determination. He realized that the universe was vast and dangerous, but humans were extraordinary. They adapted, solved problems, and thrived in ways no machine, no storm, no obstacle could match. He looked at Mara, gratitude shining in his eyes. Thank you, he said simply, for saving me, and for showing me what humans can do. Mara smiled softly. You don't need to thank me. You were meant to be here. You were meant to help. Humans protect each other, and now you are part of that chain. Every person contributes to the story, and today you wrote an important chapter. Alex turned back to the holograms. Contemplating the countless colonies, rescue missions, and explorations. Every dot of light represented lives humans had touched, dangers they had overcome, and innovations they had created. He realized that humans were not just surviving, they were thriving, building a legacy across the stars, leaving an imprint of courage and ingenuity wherever they went. A quiet hum resonated through the ship, its pulse steady and reassuring. Alex felt it under his feet, through the floor, through the very walls. The ship was alive, a living testament to human ingenuity, a vessel built to survive and protect. He placed a hand on the console, feeling a deep connection, not just to the ship, but to every human who had contributed to its creation and purpose. Mara's voice broke his reverie. Alex, tomorrow we set out on a new mission. There are more colonies, more challenges. You will continue to learn, adapt, and contribute. But for now, rest. You've done well. Alex nodded. He felt the exhaustion in his body, but it was the kind of fatigue that came from accomplishment. He had faced fear, adapted to chaos, and contributed to something greater than himself. He realized that humans thrived not because they avoided danger, but because they confronted it, learned from it, and acted with intelligence and courage. As he walked back to his quarters, Alex reflected on the journey that had begun just days ago. He had woken in a strange room, frightened, confused, and alone. Mara's words had given him comfort. You were crying, but you're safe now. Those words had been the first step toward understanding, toward trust, and toward discovering his own capacity for courage and ingenuity. Sitting on the edge of his bed, Alex stared at the stars through the small window of his quarters. He thought about the storm, the colonies, and the countless humans working together across space. Each one was part of a story larger than themselves, a story of survival, creativity, and collaboration. And now, he was part of that story. He closed his eyes, letting the calm of the ship surround him. The pulse beneath his feet, the hum of energy, and the distant glow of stars all reminded him that humans could face any challenge. Fear was temporary, but intelligence, cooperation, and courage were lasting. He felt a quiet pride, a sense of belonging he had never known before. When Alex opened his eyes again, Mara was standing in the doorway. Sleep well, she said softly. Tomorrow, the universe will challenge us again, and humans Humans will rise. Alex smiled. I'm ready, he said. The night, or what passed for night in the endless expanse of space, was calm. The ship floated smoothly, its systems steady, and the colonies remained safe. Alex felt a profound connection to humans everywhere, to the ingenuity and courage that had shaped the galaxy, and to the promise that tomorrow would bring new challenges and new opportunities to prove what humans were capable of. He realized that the universe was vast, filled with danger, mystery, and unknown possibilities. But humans were resilient. Humans adapted. Humans survived, thrived, and protected one another. And now, he was one of them, ready to face the infinite challenges ahead with intelligence, courage, and determination. Alex lay down, the soft hum of the ship lulling him into rest. He thought of the lives they had saved, the colonies they had protected, and the countless humans working together across space. And he understood something deeply. To be human was to face the impossible and to rise above it, not alone, but together. As sleep overtook him, Alex felt a quiet joy. He had discovered who he was, what humans were capable of, and how courage, ingenuity, and cooperation could shape the universe. The journey was far from over, but he was ready. Humans thrived in adversity, and now he would too. The stars stretched endlessly beyond the ship's windows, calm, infinite, and full of possibilities. And somewhere in that vastness, humans continued their journey, exploring, creating, and protecting, proof that intelligence, courage, and cooperation could overcome any challenge. Alex's eyes closed, and he dreamed not of fear, but of hope, purpose, and the endless potential of humanity. The ship pulsed beneath him, alive, steady, and strong, a living testament to human ingenuity. And in that pulse, Alex knew one truth clearly. Humans could face anything, because humans were extraordinary, and he was one of them.